You guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica. If you're new, I make content for growing families. And today we're going to be talking all about sex as mothers. But first I want to show you this room. Look, this is our old Very Good Mothers Club office that we used. It was my friend's house. It is still my friend's house. Isn't it so beautiful? They rent out the house on Peerspace for people to do like photo shoots and commercials and things. Even celebrities sometimes do stuff in here. It's very cool. So, okay, I'm gonna film an intro to this video, and this video is its own kind of chaos, but I kind of think it's perfect because sex inside of parenting is also its own kind of chaos. Pre-kids, pre-pregnancy even, sex is like you and your person, and you just figure out when do you want it and how much do you want it, and then you just make it happen. I remember one time Sean left flower petals all the way down the entire street that we lived in because I was walking, and I found these flower petals and I came all the way home. There were flowers in our room and candles, and voila, we're in our first or second year of marriage and we had sex. Now we have 3 kids. We're on our 14th year of marriage, and sex is very much something that is planned. And it's also something that sometimes I'm like, so how quick can we make this? Not because I don't like sex. Actually, most of the time I have a really good time during sex. It's just that I don't always want to have it pre-having it. So what I tell Sean is I never regret having sex, but I don't always want to do it before we've begun. What we will talk about today is anything and everything that has come up this week surrounding sex as moms. So in the Very Good Mothers Club community, which you are more than welcome to join, it's a membership community of amazing moms from around the world. We do calls weekly via Zoom. And this week, our topic for both calls was sex as moms. And the calls were so juicy and so fun. And what we realized is we should have these calls kind of on a regular basis, maybe monthly, to be able to talk through issues, see what's going better, what's not working, what hurts, what doesn't, and just have a safe spot to be able to talk about sex, because it's something that all of us think about to some degree. All of us have struggles with it, or something we've overcome, or just thoughts about it. Maybe we grew up in a home that, or a culture, subculture that made us feel a lot of guilt surrounding sex. Maybe we were taught, don't have sex, it's bad, until you find the one you love and then you marry them and then suddenly it's good. Now, shed all that shame and get to it. That's confusing. That's one of the things that we talked about. We also talked about once you have a baby, maybe you feel kind of touched out and you don't want to have sex, but your partner does, and then you feel a guilt surrounding that. Some of us want to have sex more than our partners do, and that makes us feel kind of crappy because we don't know what's wrong with us, that they don't want to have sex with us. Sometimes we start having sex with the person we want to have sex with, and then one or both of us don't finish, and then that can create its own kind of stuff. So these are the types of things we're going to talk about. I'm also going to talk about how to tell your kids about sex, because I have a 7-year-old who asked me about sex recently. In fact, oh my gosh, I think I might even have some footage of the exact conversation that went down because my BFF was there and she thought it was hilarious. I'm trying to explain sex and I'm like, oh man. Anyway, so we're going to talk about all this stuff, but I'm also just going to bring you in my day because I have a sick child and I run a small business and I have some odd jobs on the side. One of the jobs today is setting up my friend's house for her so that some people can come and do a photo shoot here. I'm also going to my other part-time job to ship out orders for this amazing Jewish ceramic company. So we just have a lot spinning, and then there's sex. And we're trying to figure out how can we make sure that sex is a priority in our lives, but also not feel the pressure that we sometimes feel from the outside world of like, oh my gosh, you should be having more sex. You should be having better sex. Maybe you feel like you should be having less sex. I don't know why, but perhaps that's your feeling. We just want to talk through all the feelings and maybe walk away with some perspective, some tips, some encouragement, or at least some normalization of the stuff you and I face and women all over the place are facing. So thanks for being here. Welcome to the video. Let's go. It's fitting that I would make a video today about sex when my baby didn't sleep very well. Now she's sick. You need your milk. This guy, he woke up really early. Eloise is thriving. She has school today. Eloise was wanting to know where babies come from, and our friend recommended this book, and it's so great. called Mommy Laid an Egg. Let me show you. Where are babies coming from?
Kitty!
What?
A kitty!
No way. A kitty? Look. It explains it.
Just like it down here. There is a kitty.
It's a great book. Eloise is 7, so it's like, for her, she was very curious. Wow. Beautiful.
Mommy, do you want to hear the worst sound?
The worst sound? Yeah, I want to hear it.
Mommy!
Hey, Sean.
Yeah?
How do you feel about sex on a day like this?
You mean a day when the kids are going crazy?
Yeah.
Makes me want to have sex immediately.
What does it make you think I also want to have sex immediately?
No, I know that it would make you not want to, so.
Sean Howard, can I ask you a question that's sort of personal but also is going to go on my YouTube channel?
Sure, hold on, buddy.
If you were allowed to have sex with your wife as often as you wanted, how many...
Twice a day.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah, twice a day. I mean, 3 times a day would maybe be ideal, but I know that that's not realistic for anybody.
Okay.
That's a lot.
Okay, what do you think?
Maybe if you're on like a special vacation, 3
Oh
times
my
a day.
gosh.
could work.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, twice a day for sure.
And you do not have sex twice a day?
No, I do not.
No. Okay.
It's part of my struggle. But
You're saying this is your desire, but then bring us into real life. 3 kids, owning a business, young kids.
yeah, buddy?
I found potatoes, but then I put in the bowl.
Oh, good job. Thanks, buddy.
You don't ever pressure me to have sex twice a day. We never would do that. Like,
I didn't say I'm trying to have sex
no,
twice a day.
I know, but so bring us into how does this play out in reality? You'd have sex 100 times a day if you could.
Yeah, well, that would be really cool.
Okay, yeah, you would die. So what about reality?
I mean, basically for me, it's as often as you're happy to do that, then I'm going to be happy to do it. I can't think of a time when you've been wanting to do that and I've been like, I'm just not really in the mood.
Right, which
So-
some people have.
So really, yeah, which is fine. If I lived in my dream fantasy world, I would be doing it that often. That doesn't mean I would expect that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's not like at any point I expected that in marriage. So, you know, I guess you'd be pretty bummed out if you thought going into marriage that means now that you're married you get to have sex whenever you feel like it.
Right.
Then you'd be kind of bummed. But I think most people realize that you're not going to actually get to do it that often, and so you just gotta be enjoy the moments. Enjoy the moments when it's good for both of you.
Yeah.
I don't want to have sex 3 times a day. In a like really amazing time of life, I maybe would want to have sex once a day. But anyway, my point is, you can have sex as much as you want. The ideal situation is that you and your partner are talking it through, because some couples don't want to have sex hardly at all, and that's okay if both of their needs are being met and they feel connected and intimate. It's really between you and yours to figure out how much sex is reasonable for you, and understanding that different seasons of life allow for more or less sex. And so if you are in a season where you have young babies or young kids, maybe you are working and going to school, or in our community we have a couple people whose partners are working nights, so then they are, or one, their husband works 24 hours, he's a firefighter. So this is going to dramatically affect how and when you are having sex.
Yeah, scheduled sex is like if you say, hey, tonight we can do that, and then it's like, oh cool, now I'm expecting that and excited about it. It's a little bit hard if you're just kind of every day is like, well, I wonder if she's going to be interested in doing that today. And then if you're not, and if you're not for, you know, several days or a week or a couple weeks or whatever, then it's like, I'm kind of like, I wonder if she's going to be interested in that. And it's it kind of helps if you're clear, like up front, like, I'm really not in a sexual mood. Like these days or now or whatever, so that I'm not like wondering or like hoping
For it.
and then feeling disappointed when you're not interested.
Yes.
So whether you are interested or not interested, if you communicate it ahead of time,
It helps
it
you.
actually helps me a lot to feel better about it. Because then, and one, either excited because I know we get to do that, or
Yeah.
two, I'm not disappointed.
Right.
I'm not like hoping for maybe something to happen.
Yeah, that's fair. That makes sense.
One question to ask ourselves when it comes to sex is, what makes us feel sexy? What makes us feel like we can actually enjoy sex? For example, I feel sexier if I'm clean, or I feel sexier if I've freshened up in some way. I feel sexy if the room is not covered in kids stuff. I found that it's way easier to get in the zone if I'm not looking at my kids' Legos or looking at a diaper. Basically, okay, well, here's what I think. I think you have this maternal part of you, and that part is not the part that has sex. And it makes sense, because the maternal part is caring for your offspring, and you're not going to want to have sex with your offspring. And in the same way that if you feel like you're parenting your partner in any way, you're going to find it a lot harder to get turned on by them. There have been seasons in my marriage where it's been like, if I feel like I'm taking care of my partner in a way that is very much a mom type way, like I'm picking up after you, I'm preparing your everything and ensuring your life doesn't fall apart, it makes it so much harder to be like, and now I want to get freaky with you. I desire you so much. The maternal part of you is just not going to be the part that wants to engage sexually. And it makes sense. That's not supposed to be the part that engages sexually. But as women, I think we have this erotic part of us as humans. We have some version of an erotic part of us that wants to have sex. And that part needs to be engaged, right? In order to get excited about being sexual. So like environment plays a role. Maybe we feel sexiest when our environment doesn't remind us of all of our motherly responsibilities or all of our stresses. Also, what else? I don't know. Sometimes you just want to feel good in your body. And when you're pretty freshly postpartum, you might still be adapting to your new body. And so maybe you want to dim the lights and turn on music and light a candle, and not so much because you have low self-esteem, though many of us struggle with low self-esteem after having babies, but maybe just to be able to kind of leave your current reality and enter into more of a fantasy, playful, different world to help you. And remember that for a lot of women, it takes a lot mentally to get engaged sexually. Like you need physical foreplay, you might need to engage your own self and stimulate your own body in a certain way. Maybe you know your body better than your partner does right now, or maybe neither of you knows what's going to work right now because things work differently after you have a baby. And so maybe there's some exploration that needs to happen of you with yourself to figure out what feels good. And that could be great. You could include your partner in that, or not. You could do some exploring to figure out what works and what doesn't hurt and what feels nice, and then teach them. I don't know. It's totally your style. But back to my original point, the question is, what makes you feel sexy? Does it make you feel sexy and aroused and turned on when the room is cleaner, when you guys are clean, when you've had some time to talk? Maybe you drink a glass of wine to help you relax, or you watch something funny because laughing can be something that's very connecting to you. I don't know. Ask yourself what works for you. Maybe you feel most excited about sex after you have exercised. I have found that recently that I have a higher sex drive if I've been exercising. So that's great. My husband's very excited that we got a gym membership because he's benefiting. Yeah, what makes you feel sexy? What makes you feel most alive in that way? And maybe you've never felt alive in that way. That's okay. You are not past being able to discover that in yourself. Also, you're very normal. The more I hear about sexual issues from women, the more I realize it's all normal. You are definitely not alone in whatever thing you're thinking about or feeling or struggling with. We all go through some version of it ourselves. Okay, I'm gonna finish getting ready and then we'll continue this talk elsewhere. You little sickie. You got a scrunchie on your head? You want mama to take it off? I think daddy forgot to take it off. Oh, you got it? It's down. You don't feel so good? Oh, really? There's something on your head? Me too.
She's sickly.
Sickly.
Yeah, she's a sickly little child.
Is she sad all day?
Yeah, she's pretty sad. Not all day.
What is daddy eating? Look at this meal. I did not know about that. Nice. Hi, baby. Okay, hello. I'm home. I worked my other part-time job and now I'm here. I just put on my leggings, which if you follow me on the internet, sorry, my mirror is actually quite messy because of little hands that just grab it even once I clean it. But Mother Tucker compression leggings from Belly Bandit are so great. So shout out. Sex. One thing I know that affects your sex drive is how active we are. Also how tired we are, our hormones. There's so many things that affect it. Even diet can affect it, but exercise. If we are moving our bodies more, we have generally more desire for sex. Also, we feel better in our bodies. So then that makes us more sexual as well, I suppose. I don't know. Theories from Jessica. I have more of a sex drive. So my husband is pretty stoked on the gym membership. Not sure where to look when I film. Do I look? Anyway, if I look into the mirror at the circles. Okay. Exercise. What if you have a baby? You are pretty much working around the clock, morning, noon, night, sleep hours, taking care of that baby. You're not going to want to exercise. Maybe you do. Maybe you do want to exercise. Oh my gosh. This is a perfect opportunity to tell you that we are adding workout videos to the Very Good Mothers Club community. My friend Becca, who has been one of my best friends for so long, actually, she's right here, this little love. She is amazing at fitness stuff, and she's so gentle and so loving on the body, and she has 3 kids, and one of them's a baby, one's a toddler. Anyway, she's going to be making fitness videos, exercise videos that you can do from home with your baby or toddler there. Super easy, really short too, so it'll be something that you can just bust out and then get on with your life. But that actually might help your sex drive. So recommend some movement in your life if you can. But also, I didn't move my body that much. I went for walks with the baby, but this is the first time in years that I have had a gym membership. And I think it's just because my kids are now older, and I guess it's different. If you have a lot of help, if you have people who can watch the kids, or you have a great gym that actually has childcare or something, then maybe you could go to the gym earlier. But totally depends on where you live, how much money you have, just what life looks like and what your priorities are. And there's just no shame either way. But the takeaway of this moment is moving our bodies overall is going to help sex drive. Okay, now I go to exercise. There's a lot going on in my head because in 2 days, Very Good Mothers Club is dropping all our new apparel. So at the same time as making this video, I'm getting all these texts about that and approving products and figuring out pickup times and how to take photos of these products to then put them on the internet. So yeah, I'm learning how to run a business. It's really something. I'm growing a lot in so many ways. But okay, I'm gonna go exercise, and while I'm there, I'm gonna get some work done on my phone, and all of that's gonna help my sex drive, and that's really good news. Okay, and Sean just took the kids to go pick up Eloise. He is insane. He's so good at handling the chaos of all 3 kids at once. It's beautiful. So he's gonna take them to a park, and he's gonna skateboard while they all play. And I tried to do that by myself, and it was really hard. So I'm very impressed. Okay, off I go. But you're gonna come with me, so off we go. Okay, I worked out, but while I was working out, I was working on my phone, getting stuff done for our business, And some stressful things happened, like the manufacturer printed the wrong thing on all of the hats that we ordered. Not even printed, sewed the wrong thing on. And we're supposed to start selling these on Friday. Anyway, this video might even be out by the time. Anyway, my point here, folks, is stress plays a role in sex too. And if we want to have a connected sex life, then we also have to figure out ways to cope with our stress. And maybe one thing we could do very practically is, like, before we're gonna have sex, is have some time to put the stressful thoughts somewhere, whether it's like journaling or, I don't know, praying or listening to music or taking a shower. Sometimes taking a shower can help get like the stress off you. I heard on the call this week too that sometimes when we are in the mood, then our husband or partner's not in the mood because they're stressed or they're tired. And then that can be something that we face too. So communication around all of that stuff is important as well, isn't it? Now I have to go cope with my stress before I finish the workday. I'm just gonna keep wearing what I'm wearing and go to my office now to pack up orders and figure out how to problem solve. Cool. Speaking of stressful, I'm in my office and it's dark outside. I can't really tell how I feel about the darkness. I think I don't feel great about it, but I also kind of like that it makes it feel like it's almost Christmas time. I'm really cold in here though. There's no heat on right now. Look how pretty. I'm gonna wrap up this video by finishing my thoughts on sex, and then I'm gonna edit it and post it. What a day. Because Eloise doesn't have school tomorrow, so I don't really know how my work day is gonna go tomorrow and Friday. But usually during the week, Monday through Friday is when I get my work done. So that's what I'm gonna aspire to do. Okay, zoom out. The person we're having sex with, I imagine, is the person we're also parenting with. And depending on the stage of parenthood that we're in, sex is gonna look different. Like, there are gonna be times where sex might just be like, let's just bang this out. We don't have that much time, or we are spread pretty thin. Hormonally, maybe our bodies are actually still kind of in pain and we're maybe dealing with some scar tissue. Maybe some things inside of us have shifted and we're trying to get to a point where they'll kind of shift back. It's super normal first year postpartum, even if you had a C-section, for you to experience pain in sex. It does get better most of the time. If you feel like it's not getting better, I would recommend that you see a pelvic floor specialist, pelvic floor therapist. Call your doctor, ask them about that. Some people have never heard of it, but I need to see one for sure. I keep getting UTIs and I'm wondering if it's something is not right in there. It happened ever since I had my third baby. Anyway, my point is, sex is gonna look different at different times. And when we zoom out and we think big picture, this is the person that we wanna be having sex with for a long time, then it's okay to realize that sometimes sex is more like, okay, I don't really want to do this. I feel really touched out. I do want to do it because I care about the person I'm having sex with and I see a lot of benefits from having sex, because it can make you feel really connected in your relationship. It can help you feel intimate and help you guys feel loved and cared for by the other person. If it doesn't, then conversations are important. You're having sex. This is your body. This is their body. You want to be able to talk through how it's going, what's working, what's not working. If like it's not pleasurable at all, or maybe you don't even know that it can be pleasurable, maybe you're so used to having sex that doesn't feel good that you don't think about this, I want to encourage you to think about it, because you can have great sex that feels good. Even if you're in a stage that is pretty postpartum, you could figure out other ways of being sexual that brings you pleasure. A lot of women don't have pleasure sexually from having, oh my gosh, what's the word? I'm sorry, I was gonna try and use the really professional language here, but internal orgasms. Some of you guys aren't gonna have that. So maybe external pleasure is gonna be what's gonna help get you there. I'm gonna use the word clitoris now. Really hope my parents or in-laws aren't watching this. I maybe should have put a disclaimer at the beginning of this video. Like, if you're a blood relative, unless you're my sister, don't watch this. But yeah, this is real stuff. So a lot of women don't have pleasure internally, especially if you're postpartum. So maybe there are other ways to navigate the pleasure aspect of sex. And then sometimes you're going to have sex and you're thinking to yourself, I don't really care if I finish or orgasm or climax, whatever language sits right with you. I don't really care. I just want them to have an amazing time. And that's fair too. Sometimes people go into it and they say our goal is to try and finish at the same time. I know for me that's ideal. I would much prefer that we both are like sort of kind of on the same page timing wise, because it's just kind of frustrating and not fun when one person finishes way before the other person. Figure out together what kind of sex you want to be having and how you can improve. As your kids get older, you're going to have people sleeping through the night. You're going to have your energy back. Hormonally, things are going to be working differently than they are now. Also, if you're pregnant, there are stages of pregnancy where you're like out of your mind wanting to have sex. Some people wake up in the night ready to have sex and are like, hey, are you awake? You want to have sex? Others of us don't have any sex drive at all during pregnancy. If you struggle with prenatal depression or anxiety, that can throw off sex drive. But then also some people struggle with that and they have a high sex drive. All of it's normal. There's so much to be said about sex and parenting, and we could make more videos about this. Maybe you leave comments for me if you're like, hey, could you talk about this or cover this, or get on a call with us and bring it up, because I'd love to hear from you about sex as parents. But my big like final wrap up before we go, because I gotta go eat dinner here soon, is sex is important. You are important. If you're somebody who's experiencing a lot of guilt or shame around sex, I would love to talk to you about it, but you don't have to. You are designed for this. There's pleasure for you that's involved in this whole process. And some of the shame or guilt that you might be feeling is like a habit that formed, that somewhere early on you learned that you're supposed to experience shame after you do something sexual. And so your body is just reverting to something that it knows. On one of the calls, the wife of a therapist was there and she spoke up and she was talking about how, like, you know, how naturally when it starts to become dusk, when you're a new mom, sometimes you just feel feelings at dusk. Maybe you feel anxiety, maybe you feel fear, you feel something in your body. Even if you're not thinking negative thoughts, feelings happen. She was saying that your body stores these like memories or these feelings or these habits, and your mind gets to now train it out of that. And so for you, shame might be the thing that your body's holding sexually. Like it remembers that over and over and over again, whenever you felt sexual, you followed that up with guilt and shame. Now we feel this. Sex is tied to those things. You now, grown person who get to form your own thoughts and ideas and beliefs about sex, and even teach your kids new things, different things than what you learned, you get to over and over again remind your body, nope, we don't feel shame after we have sex. Nope, we are thankful after we have sex. We are gonna, one of the people said, like, drink a cup of tea after we have sex. One woman says smoke a cigarette after we have sex. I don't know what your after sex thing is, but something that reminds you this is a good part of your life. This can be a source of joy for you and the one you love. This can be an amazing thing. And you can even teach your kids that it's not something to be ashamed of. It's something very normal and human and good. And you can do it different now. I don't know where you see yourself in all of this, but thanks for being with me. I'm going to wrap up now. Would love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram if you want more of my family. If you want to be a part of Very Good Mothers Club, would love for you to join the community or shop our retail shop. Also, we have a free Facebook group, Jess Hover and Friends. If you just want to jump into something free and big and amazing people in there, you're welcome to join that group too. So there's lots of places to plug in and get more support in your parenting journey. And I'm just thankful for you. So thanks for being here, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.